Hey guys, welcome back to the Elite Hunting and Archery channel. Today we will be discussing the topic of target panic. This is a very hard topic for some people, as well as it's very complicated to understand. A lot of people don't understand it. They just want to know why is it happening, what can I do to fix it. But I have struggled with this a lot. Most archers and shooters that shoot struggle with this. It's very, very common. If you struggle with this at all, you are not alone. Trust me. This is 100%. I struggle with this. I know buddies that struggle with it all the time. It's all kinds of stuff. Completely normal. But it's one of those things that I feel that if you take the time to learn about it and learn what's happening, then you can address it and fix it more properly and better, as opposed to just doing a quick fix and it coming back in a month kind of deal. So let's jump right in and let's discuss the topic of what is target panic. What are we seeing? What does target panic mean? So target panic, the best way to describe it is, let's say the end of this arrow, the silver point, is the pin or dot, whatever you use on your sight. When I draw in and I start at the top or bottom, whatever you do, I start at the top. So I start at the top, drop down into the center, and then my bow hovers, and then I get a nice smooth break, and then boom, the shot goes off. That's a perfectly normal shot, good shot. Target panic is where you draw back and you either drop really fast and it seems like, oh my gosh, we're going, we're not stopping, bam, I gotta get the shot off. Or you get here and you settle and then it's like you're floating, just start doing this and it gets bigger and bigger, and then boom, you shoot it as you go by it next time. And this is where we get into a very bad habit of triggering our release. So there's some people, I shoot, the only time I trigger my release is if I'm shooting in the wind. And that is a command shot that I have to make and have to use. I, 99.9% of the time, use a back tension shot where I settle in and push and pull until that shot goes off, using my back muscles to expand, pushing that bow and pulling that string until the shot breaks and goes off. That gives you the smoothest shot you can get. That is the correct shot for the shot system. But what a lot of people end up doing is when they're getting in here and it's floating, if you're shooting a thumb button or a hinge, they either rip through it and that can cause them to pull it off to the left or to the right, or they hammer the button and that can cause a lot of spreading in your shot. And you'll actually never really get, you can get a consistent shot, but it's not gonna be that consistent. Whereas if I do a constant, consistent, standard push, pull, break, even shot, I can pretty much wear out that X. Where I am now, obviously I've got room to improve, everybody does. But I like to say that when I come in, I like it to drop, sit, and if it's floating around the outside of that X ring, as long as it's really staying in the white, as long as I'm keeping a controlled push-pull shot, boom, I'll be able to drive that into the center with that front forearm. And that is the shot we're looking for. But let's get back to the target panic portion. So let's say you're drawing back and it looks like you drank a gallon of Red Bull and you are just bouncing all over the place. And you are like, what is going on? And you've got weights on your bow, you just can't figure out what's going on, and it seems like you're everywhere and you're having to punch that shot. So this is where you get into the, now that we've been over what target panic is, now we're gonna work into how can I fix it. Okay, this will be a multi-video, I'm gonna call it a season, multi-episode season here, because I'm gonna go over, for me, the four main things that can cause target panic. Okay, and that is your sight, release, inconsistency in your shot, and mind, brain. Absolutely, 100%. The brain is probably the most common. Second most common for me probably would be sight, And then after that, go to release, and then inconsistency in your form. And that can kind of actually fluctuate into all three of these and just have an added play. So first, we're gonna start off with your sight. So let me grab my sight real quick off of my Verdict. So all my stuff's out here because I have a tournament tomorrow. Be shooting 3D Buffalo Series over at Fort Girard. Shout out to Fort Girard. All right, so I run the UV3 XLSE. It's got my dual pin in there. Top is my 23s, bottom are my 166s, my skinnies. So I run a 4-power lens in here. That is not a very powerful lens. That is what I run currently for indoor and currently for outdoor. Now, if you are shooting indoor on a 5-spot, a Vegas face, or let's say you're still on a single spot, you do not need, unless you are old, unless you are old and have eye problems, you do not need an 8-power lens. At most, I would say shoot a 6, and that is pushing it. I have shot an 8 indoor. I've actually even shot a 10-power indoor, and that is like, it looks like you are swimming in a pool trying to shoot your bow. It is a hot mess. This year, started off the season, I was like, you know what? I want to really be able to get in there and see what I'm looking at and really try and focus. That's great for about the first month and a half to 2 months. Everything was going good, and then I got more and more comfortable, and my form started to slack off. And once I got more and more comfortable, I was like, oh, I need to get my form back. And so I got tense again, and everything was good. But then I started getting a lot of bouncing around and a lot of movement out of my sight picture. I was like, what is going on? I was talking to people, talking to friends, talking to buddies, my coach, and they were like, well, what lens are you using? I was like, I'm running an 8-power. And they were like, well, that's your problem. And I was like, what do you mean that's my problem? And they said, well, try a 4-power. Threw a 4-power lens in there. I would have grabbed a 6, but I didn't have a 6 for this size scope at the time. So I was like, I've got a 4-power, we'll just try a 4-power. So that's what I did. Grabbed a 4-power lens, threw it in there, drew back, and it was just like clear as day. I could see everything, anchored in, click, boom. The shot felt perfectly normal again. So when I say check your lens, check your sight, that's what I mean. When you go outside and you're shooting 3D or field or FIDA or any of those outdoor events where you're going to be shooting anywhere from 20 yards out to 50, 60, 70, 80, all the way to 100 yards. If you're doing like Redding, California and all that kind of stuff or whatever. You really only ever need a 6 or an 8-power lens. Right now, I'm shooting small little tournaments, so I'm still running my 4-power. I am getting a 6-power sometime soon, not totally sure when, but I'll be getting a 6-power for outdoor and I'll be running a 4-power for indoor. But both of those, either way, whether I'm at 20 yards, whether I'm at 10 yards, or whether I'm all the way out at 60 or 70 yards, that sight picture is still enough to where I can see what I'm looking at, but it's not going to be doing this a whole lot. It'll just kind of settle in. I can see it. I might get a little bit of movement, but if you think about it this way, the more magnification you have behind that, the closer you're going to be. So everything is zoomed in super, super close and tight. And when you get that close and tight, the tiniest little movements look Jurassic because you're looking through something that big and it just looks giant if you have the slightest little twitch. And that's when you start to get antsy because it's moving around so much. And then what a lot of people do is they go and they stack a whole bunch of weight on their bow. Sometimes I've been known to do this before a tournament. I'll stack, 5 ounces on my bow the night before. But that's beside the point. The point is they go and they stack a whole bunch on there and then they can't hold it up for the duration of a tournament. So that's where it comes back down to you need to get that lens power down so you can settle and relax and get back to your consistent shot. The lens trick is more so for somebody who has been shooting, has their form down, but is not getting the consistency they want out of their shot. And they feel like they're just moving around a lot, but the weights on their bow are set well to where they feel like they're holding good. They just feel like everything looks like it's shaking around and it's causing them to really have to punch that release or rip through it or whatever kind of release you're shooting. So that is kind of an intro into Target Panic. That is going to be a basic fix for what I've done. Doesn't always fix. Go watch my other videos. If that doesn't fix it for you, let's go watch my other videos and sit down and We'll figure this out. And if you test this and it doesn't work for you, let me know. Drop comments below, please. I'm always happy to test stuff, like I always say. This is just a simple little fix. I'll probably do one, maybe 2 more videos on this. Probably one. I'll definitely be doing one, but probably 2 about releases and weights, and then for sure one about the mind. The mind plays a really big role in that, and kind of how we can reset our mind and get back to that starting point. So thank you guys for watching. This is just a short little quick video. Just wanted to share with you guys. I've been playing around with this. I actually had this problem. I got target panic while I was at Vegas, really bad. I got it really, really bad. I couldn't hardly even get my sight to settle on the target. And it was a mix of adrenaline, mix of being in Vegas, shooting Vegas, and as well as the fact that I was running an 8-power lens and everything was like 2 inches from my face is what it seemed like. And it was just moving around a whole lot. Shout out to Fort Girard. I'll be over there tomorrow. Always support them. Been shooting there since I was a little itty bitty kid. Come out, shoot if you guys want. We'll be doing Buckle Series Championships tomorrow. So hope to win. Sitting on top of the podium right now. Give me a shout out if you need anything. Drop comments below if you have any questions. Thank you and have a good rest of your day. See y'all in the next one.